In the state of Nebraska, it used to be we could drill a well and we would just have to register the wells with the state. In about 1988, and this was all a fight and match over the, if some of you guys remember the nuclear waste dump they were going to build up at Spencer, Nebraska. Well, one of the ploys used to put a stop to that was they tried to tie surface water and groundwater together. They called it hydrologically connected. And I'll be darned if that didn't go through the legislature, and it was Bill 108, and Ben Nelson signed it into law. So now they say surface water and groundwater are tied together hydrologically. And they've given the NRDs across the states the authority over watching groundwater. Now surface water is tied to the Department of Natural Resources, but the NRDs have the groundwater. And they have limited our drilling to drill wells. I want to go back to 1988, where we can drill wells if we need wells. Because right now we're in the middle of a drought out here. We got a third of a hay crop, and I have 2 irrigation wells sitting over there that used to be farm ground, and I'm not allowed to put a pivot on them. Something is wrong with this. I can show you statistics that talk about the in-stream flow for the state of Nebraska going back to, I think, the 40s. The lowest in-stream flow that we ever had was 1956. The highest in-stream flow that we ever had was 2019. Now let's think about this. There's 2 million acre-feet of water that flows into Nebraska and 9 million acre-feet of water that flows out. That goes to the Gulf of Mexico and becomes salt water. Why in the world are we allowing that to happen? Instead, we should start building some dams, capturing some of that water, and stop telling people that they can't drill wells. Because after all, no one really knows how quickly the ground recharges. We're sitting on the Ogallala Aquifer. That well right over there, the water is at 2 feet. 2 feet. That's just incredible. This spring, there was water standing out on these meadows. But apparently bureaucrats know more about what's going on than those of us who live and work on the ground.